Married at First Sight season 13 is a season that keeps on giving, honey. Honey, more tea is coming out about GILL the Dusty. Now, remember, I did a video, this video right here, I'm about to show you, okay? Where I was asking, how is GILL going to afford his half of this? We just average it out to this $3,000 a month apartment. Y'all remember that video? You remember that video. And you remember I also said that how is it that you're 3 weeks from your lease being up and you have not given your landlord notice? What kind of apartment is that you live in? Probably somebody dingy basement dungeon, girl. You remember that, right? Well, some of y'all got mad, right? Remember the other video I said, where's the money, GILL? Where's the money, GILL? Go get the money, GILL. Go get the money, GILL. Go get the money. You remember that? I did that video too, right? Remember? Well, girl, I told you. I just want to say, you know what? From now on, I will not be no more. I'm just going to pull my videos up. Remember, I told you, not only is he a dusty, but he's a hobo. Right here on page 248 of 23,000 guys you might meet. 248. He's a hobo. Hobo. Sexual. I got the proof, girl. I got the proof, girl. I got the proof. We're going to read it and we're going to talk it through. And then I'm just going to play a snippet at that little video so you could go back and watch. Meow. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. How y'all doing? I miss y'all, but it's the end of the year, okay? Your girl is taking a break. Plus, I'm working on some new things for 2022. I'm going to have lots of new content for you. My books, a couple of books coming out, a couple of journals. A lot of you been asking for journals. I have a few journals coming out. Honey, I am investing so much time in writing and developing new content for you. You're just going to love me even the more. I want to thank you for your love and support. Those of you, thank you guys. You're emailing me about the book sales. Thank you. You are welcome. This is my Christmas gift. I said, girl, I can't believe $9.99. That was like $9.99. I'm like, yeah, it's $9.99. That's my Christmas sale to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Be sure to thumbs up. Share this out if you can. Well, I was in the bed yesterday because I was tired. It's the evening. And Lou Michael didn't have to do any homework because today is, they have the little Christmas recital at the school and he's supposed to be an elf, okay? So I laid in the bed and the girls start to tag me on Facebook and in my message box. And then this message came up. Shout out to C. Nikki D. This is on Reddit. Go on Reddit, y'all. So she asks, I'm assuming did anyone else listen to GILL most recent podcast interview, My Future Wife? He described at length what happened between him and MYRLA in those last few weeks. He's still bewildered by it all, but he did say things began to change when he casually asked her to pay the deposit on the first apartment. Twerk it. I told you all the Dusty couldn't afford it. I told you, bam. I told you the Dusty couldn't do it. And let me say this for all the emotionalists that's going to come over here. Why is he a Dusty, honey? I've made almost 200 videos on Married at First Sight season 13. Go back to video number 2 and figure it out. But for the nice girls that ask nicely, Dusty has nothing to do with a man's income. Nothing. Those of us that's in our 30s and 40s looking back, our parents raised us on $40,000 a year. I thought my daddy had a lot of money. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, he must be only making like almost $40,000 a year. But we lived in a good home. We lived in upper class community. Me, my brother, and the 3 black kids on the other block were the only black kids on our school bus. This was 20 years ago. Almost 30 years ago. Lexi's 27. Okay. We would have to go blocks, miles to see other kids that look just like us. We lived in one of the best neighborhoods in Florida. So Dusty has nothing to do with money, his income, with a man's income. The average income in the United States is like $50,000, and they're considered middle class. And I'm like, middle class? $50,000? Girl, I could eat $50,000 in one sitting. But anyways, okay, Dusty has to do with what? Mentality. Okay? So, girl, I told y'all he could not afford it. I'm going to play this video for y'all. I'm going to play the video for you. Okay? So he said he casually asked her to pay the deposit on their new apartment and said he would Venmo it to her later. Broke, Dusty. Broke. I was reading some of the comments on Reddit. I'm going to go through these comments and tell you how stupid people are. Talk about not because you live paycheck to paycheck means you're broke. You are broke. That is the definition of broke. Paycheck to paycheck. And yes, most people, I think it's 80%, live paycheck to paycheck. Broke. You know what that means? You can't miss a day. You can't get sick. You can't be tired. You have to go every day to work because you cannot afford to miss a paycheck. You're broke. Okay? And we're going to work on that on 2022 on my growing generational wealth, because then guess what? Even if you need to have at least 1 month's emergency fund. What does that mean? You get sick, you can't go to work, you get laid off, you can pay your rent or your mortgage. Lisha, I was shocked. Okay, the job sent us home like March 15th or 18th, and people was crying. Not my job, because, they paid us. But other people were crying how they go afford April's rent. And I'm like, well, it's the 18th. Shouldn't you have already have 18 April's rent? So my job paid us for a couple of weeks, and then we had to go back. But I took 6 months off. I was like, I have to take off from my kids. But guess what? I had to worry about how my bills are going to be paid. Okay? We don't believe in living paycheck to paycheck. We believe in having emergency funds and saving our monies and living way below our means. Okay? So he didn't make it clear to the listener if that was a loan, like he didn't have the money at the time or just a matter of convenience. But she did not like that at all. He, on the other hand, didn't think it was a big deal. Dusty, why didn't you upload it? See, he's one of those guys who, ladies, I talk to you about when I say, if he lose your job, how we gonna survive? And he says, you got it. Run for your life. Run to the hills from whence cometh your help. But he is a man who is not making sure it is his responsibility to provide and protect his family. He's depending on you to have it. Okay, he's depending on you. And my husband told me to take off. Are you not going back up in there with all that COVID? I didn't wonder how bills were going to pay because he got it. We've already taken care of that. Okay, she paid the money and he sent it back to her. He didn't, when he got the other paycheck. That means he couldn't even afford the first month's rent because deposit is how much? How much is deposit down south? Up here, you gotta give 1.5 months, maybe 2. It could be 2. It's been 9 years since I live in an apartment. 2 months security deposit and 1 month's rent. So if your rent is $1,000, you have to pay $3,000 to get in the apartment. So all that money in Colombia, go get the money, girl. She paid the money and he sent it back to her. He didn't say how much later, though. But she was never the same after that. She began emotionally withdrawing. And about 10 days later, he asked if she wanted to be married to him. And she said, no, this all tracks with what MYRLA said in her interview about financial stability and him not taking responsibility. So if it really was about the money. Shout out to Herman Monsterlino Souls. That's the same person, shout out, who did this video, okay? Mr. Neggin Leggins, okay? That's the same person. Shout out to him or her. I think that's a him. Dust is gonna dust, okay? So the word dust has gotten on Reddit. Go ahead, Janice. Dust is gonna dust. They're doing all sorts of mental gymnastic in here. And the pick-me's are in his DMs. I'd pay the deposit and the rent for you, GILL. A reawakening is due. I think this is a woman. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to just play part of the video. I did last year. earlier when I told y'all he couldn't afford the apartment. Go ahead and play, Janice. All right, play the video, Janice. Play the video. Side season 13, episode 12. I told y'all GILL was a whole dusty. GILL is about to upgrade his life with MYRLA's money. This Dusty lives in a one-room Roachmobile apartment that he shares with his dog. And he goes to look for an apartment. And guess what he did, girl? He went to look for the luxury apartment. Not a regular apartment. He went to look for luxury apartment. And I'm like, you live in a one-room stinking studio apartment, which with the roaches, roll it on, roll it on, look at that, roll it on, look at that. And you're going to move into a bigger apartment, and you didn't just go look for a regular apartment. The Dusty went to look for a luxury apartment. How you going to afford it, GILL? Yes. How you going to afford a luxury apartment when you live in a one-room stinking studio apartment? Yes. I just want to know. I just want to know. I know a couple of y'all emailing me about MYRLA. You think MYRLA is typical? I don't think so yet. Nope. Not yet. Nope. I'm going to do a video on it. But I just want to know, how is GILL going to afford his half, let's say half, of this luxury apartment? How are you going to do it? I just want to know. Come on. Y'all defenders of the Dusty. Yeah. Tell me in the comments how he's going to afford it. I just want to know. Happy Friday, honey. Okay, let me fast forward this a little bit. Weekends. Okay. To renew it. Okay. So, how are you going to afford it? Got my notes here. How are you going to afford the apartment, GILL? Oh, here it is. Okay, there it is. So GILL and MYRLA, and he says to her, so my lease is up in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. MYRLA says, He says, and I don't think I'm going to renew it. Hobosexual. Now, it's been about 9 years since I live in an apartment building. But when I live in apartment buildings, y'all could help me out in the community section. Comment section, maybe it's changed. Yes. You had to let your landlord know 3 months before your lease was up if you were going to renew your lease, because if not, they need to prep, they need to start advertising, and they might need to start showing the apartment so they don't miss any money. Was that right? Did that change? Yes. I think GILL came on the show for free housing. Ooh! Hobo! He came on the show for free housing, because how is your lease up in 3 weeks? 3 weeks. And you didn't let the landlord know you're going to renew it or you're not going to renew it yet. Who else did that? Drop it in the comment section. Who else came on Married at First Sight for free housing? He says, I don't think I'm going to renew it. MYRLA says, no, I think you should renew it. Ha, ha, ha. He says, okay, I'll renew it. It's cool. So then he says, so apartment shopping. We need to do that before decision day. I'm trying to make sure he got somewhere to live. So he said, so I went and got 2 prizes for the apartments here. Here. Okay,
this is Sarah. It's her first day.
Hold on. I'm not about to miss my commercial, but since I'm recording, I'll just go ahead and skip it. Somebody sent me these pictures of the luxury apartments in Houston. Okay. Go ahead, Janice. So then he says, listen to what he said. I went to look at 2 prices. 2 prices for apartments here. I don't know where I put the 4 plans. In MYRLA's voiceover, she said, having a husband that I can share space with is something I've always wanted for myself. We're talking about future, building a home, where we're going to live. The whole time. We're talking about everything as this is the marriage we want for life. And she says, truly a dream come true and a whole much more. You lie. Gil says one apartment was 11,000 square feet. MYRLA said that's big. And then he says the other one was 1,000 square feet. He then says the smaller one of the two is just higher. MYRLA says, like how high?
Come on now.
He says, I don't know. MYRLA looked at him like, girl, you want to spend my money. Come on, girl. So let me get this straight. You went to look at apartments. The smaller one is higher, but you don't know how much higher it is. Sound like a Dusty to me. Because how you don't know how much? How you making plans like you have this endless amount of money?
Yes.
Because even my husband gave me a max of the house we could look for.
Yeah, she did.
$300,000. This was 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago, he said $300,000 is our max, even though based on his income and his credit, my husband could have afforded a $500,000 house.
Yep.
And he said, don't want to do that. The max was $300,000. 10 years ago, my husband told me that. So even my husband, good money, good income, good credit,
good income,
had a max. And this Dusty talking about he don't know how much higher the other apartment is. Okay. Let's read on.
Come on and read it, sister.
MYRLA looks at him like, you dusty, crusty, how are you going to afford this apartment? Gil says, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of high-rise and mid-rise apartment. I don't like building elevators, parking garage, loop-de-loops. I hate that, and I definitely don't care about no concierge. I thought I included it. That's extremely bougie. So you know what that means, MYRLA? You will not be staying in none of those nice hotels when you try. You will be staying in the motels, okay?
This is funny.
No, I do agree with their high rise. I don't like high rise, okay?
Oh God, this is funny.
And then he says, and I definitely don't care about no doorman. I can open my own door. So tell me why the hell you're looking in a luxury apartment. Because that's what they do at the luxury apartments, right? You want a regular apartment, you go get your regular apartment. MYRLA looking at him like, how you gonna forge your half? And he says, what are your wants in an apartment? She says, I like new apartments. Gil says, you like everything new. Gil says, you remind me of a person that likes the newest and greatest. Then she says, I want a new phone, and I'm going to come back and talk about that conversation over there.
That's what he said. Go get dressed. It's almost time to go. Where's Daddy?
We have a luxury apartments here in Newark, so I'm gonna go.
All right, y'all. You could go and watch the rest of the video. Okay.
Luxury.
Oh, but wait. Let's talk about the money part.
Downtown Newark, one room with the kitchen in it is $2,250, $2,250, $1,000. Okay, $2,000. So I'm going to make the assumption. I don't know. Y'all could help me out. Ryan. How much is a 2-bedroom luxury?
Yes, let's talk about how much this money is going to be.
So I'm going to go with the 2-bedroom luxury apartment. I'm going to go even it out at $3,000 a month. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if what's included. When I lived in an apartment, hot water was included, which is why I stayed in hot water in apartments.
Yes,
I would never live in a private house. Because a private house, you have to pay your own everything. And hello, budget queen here. You don't have to worry about heat because heat is expensive. Okay?
Yes, girl.
And so I don't know what's included in these luxury apartments. I don't know if heat's included. I don't know if lights included. I don't know what's included. Now in New Jersey, I work in social service, so we have something that says your living expenses should not be more than 30% of your income. Okay. So let's assume that this 2-bedroom apartment, luxury apartment, is approximately $3,000 a month. And let's just go ahead and throw everything in there, since we don't know if heat's included, if lights included. I don't think lights included. Living expenses, your rent, heat, hot water, and PSC&G we have here. Okay. That's your living expense.
Right.
You don't need cable.
You don't need cable. You can't afford it.
What else you don't need? And you don't need internet. Living expense is what you need to live, as in a roof over your head, heat to heat your house, and water. So let's say this luxury apartment is $3,000, everything included. Don't you think I'm being graceful this morning? That's PSC&G. I don't know what y'all call it down there. That's lights, water, heat, all of that is $3,000 a month. Just throw everything there since we don't know. So that's $1,500 each they have to pay. Let's say they're going to do 50-50. First of all, GILL make $36,000 a year with overtime, right?
Come on, Janice,
so $36,000 a year. Let's say it's calculated, okay? Let's say it's $3,000 a month, so they need to pay $1,500 a month each. So that's $1,500 times 12.
Come on with the numbers, sister.
Times 12. That's $18,000 a month.
A year
for his living.
He has to pay for his
living expenses. Come on, somebody.
Come on now. Teach
he makes $36,000 a year.
Yeah.
Minus 18,000.
Yes.
Left 18,000. Now, do they pay taxes? Does firefighter pay taxes? I think firefighters, police officers, teachers, and military people should not pay taxes because the pay is not very good. Okay.
Right.
And so I think those people should not pay taxes. I don't know if they pay taxes. I'm assuming they pay taxes. So $36,000 before taxes. I don't know how much is the tax down there. Okay. Minus the $18,000 a year for your part.
Come on.
Plus, you got to send the money home for your mama. Plus, y'all got to save for the house. Tell me how GILL is going to afford half of a luxury apartment.
I just want to know.
That's not included food yet. I didn't add food. This is just living expenses. Okay?
Come on, girl, with the numbers.
So his income is $36,000. And up here in New Jersey, your living expenses, they said, try to make your living expenses not exceed times 0.30. So that means his living at his income, at GILL's income, his living expenses should not go over $10,800. $10,800 divide by 12. That means his rent should not be more than $900 a month. So you tell me, how is he going to afford half of a luxury apartment? You know how he's going to afford it? Living off of MYRLA. Living off of MYRLA. Now,
I want to stop it.
We don't know what's going to happen.
But this is so. But I'm gonna stop here.
I know
because I have to go. Yeah, from now on, y'all. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull my videos up. I'm just going, when stuff come out, I'm gonna say I said it right here. Here's the proof right here. Let me know what y'all think, honey. He can't afford it. He can't afford it. I make good money. Child, I was making $50,000 a year. My apartment was $725. The apartment initially was $750. I told the man I can't afford it. He brought me down to another one. I said, I don't like that one. I want this one. But I can only do it was $725. And I said I can only do $7. He gave it to me for $700. And when I moved out, it was $750 because I've been there a few years. And I was making $50,000 a year. You know why? If something happened, I could get $750 a year. $750 a month. But I knew people who was making minimum wage. Rent was $1,500 a month. That's a whole mortgage. And let me add this. My husband was living, it wasn't a gated community, but it was like a gated community because they had the security guard and stuff. My husband was paying $1,900 a month where he was living. Okay. And when we came here, and bought this house, our mortgage was $1,500 a month. I told him, I said, I saved you $400. You should give me the extra $400 a month. This house, which is bigger, miles than at a townhouse, 2 floors townhouse and a garage, he was paying $1,900 a month. And when we came over here, our mortgage was $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month. That's living way below your means. But I got to go, girl. I just want to know. These are still on sale. I have lots of goodies coming for you guys for the new year. Let me know what y'all think about all this, honey. Let me know. Love you. Bye.